Welcome to this explainer. For decades, human resources has really been viewed as this sort of back-office administrative function, right? Pushing paper, managing static spreadsheets, focusing on lagging indicators. But today, macroeconomic volatility and rapid technological shifts are absolutely forcing a massive pivot. We're going to unpack exactly how HR is transforming into a proactive, data-driven, strategic powerhouse, literally rethinking how organizations approach talent from the ground up.
All right, let's look at our roadmap for today. We'll kick things off with the death of static jobs, move into the rise of skills mapping, and then dig into the math of employee flight. From there, we'll check out some real ROI with tangible case studies, look at the talent tech stack, and wrap it all up with a really crucial conversation on ethics and algorithmic bias. Let's jump right in.
Starting us off with Section 1, the death of static jobs and the macroeconomic problem behind it.
Okay, so to really understand why HR is changing so rapidly, we first need to look at the massive costs of the broken, traditional models we've relied on for decades. The corporate planning landscape is experiencing a total shock to the system right now. Just wrap your head around this number, $438 billion. That staggering figure represents the cost to the global economy in lost productivity after global employee engagement fell to just 21% in 2024. According to Gallup's data, this massive drop, which is primarily driven by falling manager engagement, by the way, shows exactly what happens when leaders lack the data to act early. When companies rely on rigid job roles and basically just wait around for an annual review to see how people are doing, they miss the warning signs of burnout until it is entirely too late. And because of those staggering costs, we're rapidly moving away from rigid job titles and those clunky annual surveys. Think of old-school HR like managing a pyramid of stone blocks. Static, unchanging roles where people are just boxed into a single job description. While the new HR treats human capital like an agile, dynamic portfolio. We're talking real-time digital listening and continuous skill development. Instead of just tracking headcount, organizations are now tracking this fluid web of individual capabilities, and they're matching them to specific tasks and projects completely on the fly.
Which leads us perfectly into Section 2, the rise of skills mapping as our dynamic solution.
So how exactly do we shift from static jobs to dynamic portfolios? Well, we do it by mapping actual competencies. When you deconstruct roles into individual tasks rather than just cataloging job titles, companies routinely find hidden talent right under their noses. Think about it, traditional skills audits usually rely on self-reported surveys. And honestly, those usually fail because people either underplay their skills or they just lack visibility into what actually matters to the company. But imagine using AI to ingest what we call unstructured data. Things like past project histories, code repositories, or performance evaluations. Suddenly, you've got this living, breathing map, revealing that, hey, your marketing manager is actually fluent in Python, or your IT specialist has high-level project management expertise. It's a total game changer.
Now, this living map feeds directly into a strategic sourcing framework. When you actually know the skills you have versus the skills you need, you're presented with 4 distinct choices to close any gaps. You can build by upskilling your current team. You can buy by recruiting externally. You can borrow through internal talent marketplaces, literally moving people across departments for specific projects. Or you can rent by bringing in short-term contractors. And the really surprising takeaway here, buy, as in hiring from the outside, is no longer the default knee-jerk reaction. It's simply one tool in a much larger toolkit.
Moving on to Section 3, the math of employee flight. Let's look under the hood of predictive analytics.
It's time for a peek behind the corporate curtain, because we're going to look at the actual math that proves exactly why people decide to quit their jobs. We are actively shifting talent management away from gut feelings and over to mathematically grounded forecasting. Data scientists approach employee attrition as a simple binary problem. A 0 means the employee stays, and a 1 means they quit. Using machine learning models, which basically run thousands of what-if scenarios and decision trees all at once, organizations can identify behavioral patterns. This allows them to flag vulnerable employees and spot flight risks well before an exit interview ever happens.
And when we look closely at the predictive data, the math tells a seriously striking story. Assigning overtime is the single greatest predictor of attrition. It multiplies the odds of someone quitting by a factor of 4. No way, right? Frequent business travel nearly doubles the risk. But on the flip side, a high-satisfaction environment acts like a protective shield, actually lowering the flight risk by 30%. So why does this matter? Because if you're leading a team, this math gives you a crystal clear directive. Hiring an extra person to distribute the workload is often vastly cheaper than forcing your current, fully trained team into these high-turnover overtime cycles. Now, beyond just historical data, companies are also analyzing real-time digital exhaust. While traditional HR records like annual reviews are lagging indicators, analyzing behavioral patterns on everyday communication tools provides leading indicators. By parsing anonymized, aggregated text, and we always want to zoom out to protect individual privacy and keep things secure, AI analyzes overall sentiment to categorize risk. It can literally flag when a broader department slips from mild stress into persistent burnout, giving leadership the chance to step in and offer support way before the resignation letters start rolling in.
All right, so that's the theory and the math. Let's dive into Section 4, Real ROI and Tangible Case Studies. Let's talk dollars and cents. How does all this actually translate into financial return on investment in the real world? Let's start with an incredible 63% reduction in time to fill for critical roles. One global tech firm launched an internal talent marketplace using these exact skills mapping techniques. They discovered that nearly 40% of their existing employees had valuable skills that were completely unutilized in their current positions. So, instead of spending 127 days searching externally for candidates, they filled roles internally in just 47 days. That saved them over $14.3 million annually. Absolutely incredible.
And since replacing an employee costs anywhere from 50 to 200% of their salary, skills-based redeployment is incredibly lucrative across all sectors. Just look at this healthcare system example during a major staffing crisis. By mapping transferable capabilities, they found administrative staff who actually had prior EMT and clinical training. They dynamically shifted almost 3,000 workers to the front lines exactly where they were needed most, avoided furloughs, and saved $31 million. Similarly, a financial services firm upskilled existing analysts into a data science team for less than half the cost of hiring externally. Meanwhile, a manufacturing company developed almost 80% of its needed digital skills purely from within. The results here truly speak for themselves.
So how do we build this? That brings us to Section 5, the talent tech stack, focusing on implementation and software. To make all of this happen without relying on manual spreadsheets, which, let's face it, nobody wants to do, organizations are adopting a multi-layered tech stack. At the foundation, you've got your massive, full-suite enterprise platforms like Workday, SAP, or Oracle handling unified global payroll and core HR data. But the real behavioral magic, that happens in specialized tools. Leadership enablement platforms like TeamSpective, for example, live natively inside the communication apps people already use every single day, like Slack or Microsoft Teams. They deliver real-time, bite-sized guidance to managers exactly when they need it, driving massive engagement compared to those clunky, easily ignored browser-based surveys. Finally, we reach Section 6, Ethics and Algorithmic Bias, the human element. I want you to read this quote. What is the benefit for the employee? If no clear benefit can be identified for the workforce, the project should not be pursued. That central principle absolutely must anchor everything we've discussed today. It's such a practical, grounded rule. As we lean more on predictive algorithms to guide talent decisions, we have to keep human oversight in the loop. Remember, machine learning models are trained on historical data. If past practices inherently favored a certain demographic over another, well, an unsupervised algorithm will learn and simply automate that exact same flaw. Making sure these tools are transparent, explainable, and truly beneficial to the workforce is exactly how you build a resilient, trusting company culture.
I want to leave you with this provocative question to chew on. As predictive tools completely reshape our workplaces, how will your organization balance algorithmic efficiency with genuine human empathy? We clearly have the technology to predict burnout, uncover hidden skills, and map out the future capabilities of our workforce. But ultimately, an algorithm is just a guide. It requires a human being to look at that data, understand the real-world context, and lead with empathy. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer. Keep learning, keep adapting, and we'll see you next time.